Hi, I'm Taj Richardson with Harcourts Home Oregon Coast. We want to dive into how we're looking so far in the Central Oregon Coast real estate market for 2024. Interest rates have continued to have a big impact for the market here locally. They've gone up and down just a little bit over the last 3 months. We want to look into a little bit of the end of 2023 and kind of compare that to the beginning of 2024. And those interest rates, we want to kind of compare and contrast what's happening with the market and see if we can devise anything out of that that can maybe give us a little prediction into further out into 2024. So we're going to take a look at interest rates first, and then we'll dive into what that's doing for our Lincoln County market here on the Central Oregon coast. So to start with, let's take a look at the current interest rates. And what we've got right now is our 30-year fixed conventional loan interest rate is at about 6.88%. So a little under 7. In the last 52 weeks, it got all the way up to 7.79. And we did see it get close to 6% flat. It got all the way down to 6.27. So it's ticked up a little bit since then. And so if we just scroll down a little bit, what we really want to look at here, knowing that today's rates are about 6.88, obviously your credit score does have an impact and can vary that a little bit. But our average there is 6.88. So what does that look like? What's the trend looking back to the beginning of the year and then also deep into the deep part of 2023? So what we see here is right at the start of this year, so we'll leave it on January 4th here, we had it at 6.62. And so it kind of stayed flat for the first part of the year, but then when we hit spring here, some economic events caused it to spike up just a little bit when we got into February, and that has us, we peaked recently here at 6.94, and then it has just started to come down. So hopefully we see that trend continue, and maybe we get down closer to 6% again, or maybe hopefully get under 6.5, which we were at early in 23. So the interest rates, as you can see here, from high of 7.76 in November, have come down almost a full point. At one point it was over a full point lower. Now it's just a little under a full point. So really encouraging sign there to end the year. Interest rates were pretty attractive compared to where they were 6 months ago. And in the period here since the beginning of the year, it spiked up a little bit. Now let's take what we're looking at here and compare that to our market here on the Central Coast in Lincoln County. What I'm looking at now is the median list price for homes on the market in Lincoln County. And I wanted to kind of show the same range here about 3 months back into 2023 to around September time up to today. So right in the middle of this is going to be, we're just about coming up on the middle of March here. So we've got, let's see here, the prices. So the prices in September, one thing I want to point out, don't worry about the 7-day average. Real estate really is a long trend data analysis market. 7 days can be impacted by one sale in a county. So we want to look at the 90-day trend over a period of time. And so what we see here is that over a 90-day period back at the end of the year, our average list price was about $649. It dipped down. This is pretty consistent with our market when we hit kind of the depth of winter. Sales slow a little bit, houses come off the market, and a lot of people wait to spring. And those higher price points, they have a tendency to want to wait a little bit longer. But we did kind of start to get to the end of the year, and as we hit January and into February, we're starting to see the price go up just a little bit. Now, it's interesting that in this last month or so, February and into March, we are seeing the pricing start to go up of the average list price. And at the same time, our interest rates are going up as well, which is really quite interesting. So here I expanded this out to look all the way back to 2019, but I just want to look here at, as we hit March, we're up to 664. Right when we hit March, 664 is our median list price. So the other couple of things that are definitely interesting here is our inventory. And so what you see here in this trend from November of 23 to March is that we are actually seeing a trend of more homes on the market as we got into February, but now it's dipped here in February. What we're gonna see is a little bit of a lull. And then when we hit spring break on the Oregon coast, that's really when the prime listing season begins. So our inventory is really gonna go up here as we get through the end of March into April and May. The other thing that is always really important to know is what's happening with properties with a decrease in price. And properties with a decrease in price in the November period towards the end of the year was more common than houses with a price drop as we are in the first quarter of 2024. These are all indicators that we are moving into a pretty solid seller's market. When we're in a seller's market, that means that prices are probably going to go up. And I'm even seeing a little trend here that is a little bit unlike what I expected. I expected to see over the last month here that as interest rates started to tick back up, we might see a little bit of a softening of the seller's market, and the sellers remain very strong and very bullish on their property and are kind of rejecting the idea that prices will come down as interest rates go up. What's going to happen with interest rates this year? It's hard to know for sure because we have a presidential election. Presidential election years are always kind of a bit strange for real estate. In my 17 years of doing this through 4 election cycles, it's been unique to strange every single time. And so that makes it a little hard to predict what's going to happen with interest rates. We have inflation still not quite where the Fed wants it to be. So can't really predict what that's going to do other than we know there's probably not going to be any cuts at least through the first half of this year. They're even starting to say through the second half of the year. So interest rates are probably going to hover in that 6.5% range through 2024. The market doesn't seem to care though, as far as sellers are concerned, with what the value of their home is that they want to try to get for it. And the market seems to agree with them to an extent because we're seeing a decline in decreased prices. And then the last thing here is average days on market. We are seeing a little bit of a spike here to start the year for average days on market, up to 102. But to be honest, again, I've been doing this for 17 years. Something in the 80 to 100 range for days on market for houses for sale on the Oregon coast, pretty common. So we're not seeing anything extraordinary or out of whack with our days on market, with a reduction in decreased prices and inventory looking to start to really shift to a strong inventory. I think we've got a lot of reasons to expect that we are going to be in a seller's market this spring. And my little indicator here from Western Title, shout out to Western Title, indicates that we are in a slight seller's market over the last month. And that's been a trend that's been pretty consistent. So these are some of the tools I look at on a daily basis to make sure that we are in tune with what the market's doing for our listing clients and our buyers clients. And it's something that we think is valuable to share with you. We're going to try to do this on a quarterly basis so that you can stay up to date with where we think the market is going based on recent history. Again, I'm Taj Richardson, Harcourts, Home Oregon Coast. You can jump on the homeoregoncoast.com website or follow us on YouTube for great content like this. And we appreciate you and hope you have a great day.